Hi guys, episode 3 now of this season, and we've just finished our second game, which was Aktfanser, released by Data East in 1989. The fact that this is Data East tells you all you need to know. Janky? Yep. Cheap? Of course. Fun experience? Fuck no. I hated my time with this one, just really unpleasant to play. The game is just too difficult and relies on you being powered up to be able to get past certain sections. You get power-ups that are dropped by the enemies, and you need to jump up to get them. If you get hit, you lose your power-ups. Even the first mini-boss is extremely difficult without the power-ups. I eventually managed to beat the first boss, but had little desire to play after that, and the second level is even more difficult. Another issue with the game is the scoring. Almost all of the points come from beating the boss, so even if you get to the second level, you need to beat the bosses to get a decent amount of points, making it a bit of a crapshoot for placings for people who got to very similar points in the game. Overall, one I'm glad I won't be ever playing again. So on to the scores. I've had 14 scores sent to me, with a few apologies. We have a return from My Retro Tech, and Gary is back from last time too. The difficulty of this means we have a chunk of people just over 500,000. Robert and Mancave just put in token scores, but then from Bob in 12th through to Paul in 5th, there's just 30,000 points separating those guys, including me in 10th. In 4th, and the first to make progress beyond the beginning of level 2, is Milthy. He's done well, with 940,000. In 3rd is our chooser of the game, Ian. He's got just over 1 million. In 2nd is Graham. He used to own the PCB, and has 2.2 million. But our winner once again, with 2.5 million, is Big Juffer. Big Juffer is still yet to win a season in this competition, despite having come close multiple times, and it seems like he means business here. Now the score distribution, and we can see with that high difficulty and crappy scoring that we really don't have a distribution. Only 4 of the 9 bins here are populated, and 8 of our scores are all in the same bin. Robert is on the left with just a token effort. There is then quite a gap to the majority of players, another empty bin before Ian and Milthy, who were close, and then another gap through to our top 2, both of which were the class of the field here, but it's Juff taking the win. Here is the difficulty curve, and we see probably the most extreme plateau that we've ever had. There is a steady climb on the left, and then an almost horizontal line, showing just how difficult this game is beyond the first boss. Beyond that, it looks like the difficulty evens out, and we have a steady climb again as we often see. Weird one, with all this pointing to a broken scoring system and difficulty. Finally, the progress over the 2 weeks. Once again we have a bit of a strange profile. We can see the big band in the middle, which people have got to at various points, and only our top 4 getting beyond that. Juff was leading from early on, before Graham got ahead in week 2. I thought that was going to be good enough for Graham, but Juff dropped an even better score on the final day, to take the win. Those two were very much a class apart from everyone else. Now that we are 2 games down, we can look at the leaderboard for the first time. Early on, there's always quite a bit of movement. We have both Mancave and Gary popping up into the lower places, and My Retro Tech slotting straight into 12th. In the top 10, Paul has moved into 8th, Milthy is up 4 after that 4th place into 7th, I'm down 2, losing out to both Colin, who is back-to-back 6th places, and Ian after his 3rd place. Blue Yak has dropped behind Graham, who's taken the 2nd spot, but with 2 wins out of 2, Big Juffer is currently the one to beat. Let's see if he can maintain the lead with our next game. Our next game genre is one that was a joke from Ian. That is games containing rainbows. This is pretty slim pickings, as between us, we probably figured there wasn't more than 10, and I have 5 unique games here. Rainbow Islands Extra was our most popular choice, and it was Juff's too, so it gets 6 out of the 10 slots on the wheel. So let's set the wheel going and see what we get. Okay, slowing down. Okay, I'm shocked we don't have Rainbow Islands. So yeah, it's Fantasy Zone 2 from Ian. So that's 3 out of the last 3 spins that Ian's had. So yeah, maybe you should go do the lottery, Ian, and we'll see what genre comes up at the end. So yeah, we've got Fantasy Zone 2, a kind of cute 'em up, another shmup, so could favour Juff again. But yeah, I'll go make a video and be back in a sec. So our third game of the season will be Fantasy Zone 2. This game has quite an interesting history. It was initially released on the Sega Master System in 1987, which then got a port to the arcade on the System E hardware, which was Master System based, so the game was pretty much the same. In 2008, it got a proper remake, and was done so that it would run on original System 16 hardware, the same the original came on. The remake was released as part of the Sega Ages 33 Fantasy Zone Complete Collection on the PS2. This is the version we'll be using, along with the default settings. If anyone has played the original game, the sequel will feel very familiar. The game is a bit like a cute-em-up version of Defender, with a bit more variety in the enemies. I've never put much time into the original, so I'm looking forward to this one. The System 16 is on the Mister, so given this never got an arcade release, that's probably the best way to play it. A quick play, and it was a breath of fresh air after Act-Fancer. Should be a good couple of weeks. So before we finish, we need our next genre of game for people to choose from. I have 10 here, with puzzle and single screen platformer remaining the most popular. Ian didn't send me a genre, which is probably a good thing. So let's set things going and see what we get. Okay, slowing down. Oh, and it's just ticked over. So yes, this is cool. So we've got racing game, a choice from Blue Yak. I'm trying to think the last racing game we have. It's not a common genre we play, so yeah, I think this will be good. So yeah, get your suggestions for racing games into me, and that'll be on the wheel for next time. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy playing a bit of Fantasy Zone 2. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with the scores, and see you then.